never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, cause that's what it takes.
Happy Saturday Stakes Race this day, Terry, to you. How are you, my friend? You were off this time last week. Now you're back.
I'm back. Yeah. I'm doing great today. So
you're doing great. You feeling good?
Yeah. I slept really well last night. Everything's great. So
beautiful. That you're when you sleep well, you wake up well, right?
I do. Yeah, I don't wake up so cranky.
Yeah, well, we got that cranky old man in us, Terry. So that's part of the game as you grow older, right? Get off my lawn.
That's it.
You go from the person running off the lawn to the person cutting the lawn to the person yelling at people to get off your lawn. That is, how they have that the evolution chart where they have the people from the monkey to the man. That's the new evolution chart: running off the lawn, cutting the lawn, and then yelling at people to get off your lawn.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it is for a lot of us.
Yeah, well, today we're going to cover a couple of races. There's not a whole lot going on Stakes Race weekend because obviously it's Easter weekend. But we have a race at Aqueduct today. Mm-hmm. We have one race today at Oaklawn. We have a race today that we'll be covering at Woodbine. And then we also have a race that we'll be covering tomorrow for those of you who are playing the races tomorrow at Woodbine. So 4 races today. Like always, Terry. So let's get cracking. Well, before we do that, Terry, along with what we're doing today, if you head on over to horseracingtoday.net, you'll see that we've posted all of our picks today for the 3 big stakes races over at Keeneland. In case you're wondering, why aren't you guys doing Keeneland? We did that on Thursday with Chris Parmalu, race 8, the Giants Causeway Stakes, race 9, the Lexington Stakes, race 10, the Jenny Wiley Stakes. You can catch the replay of the video here, and then we have everybody's picks listed as well. So you can get that over at horseracingtoday.net. The first race we're going to cover today, Terry, is Aqueduct. It is race number 7, I believe. No, 8.
No, number 4.
9. Race number 4. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Got to get it correct. Race number 4. It is the aptly named Plenty of Grace Stakes for the Easter weekend. This one is 1 mile on the turf, Terry. Scratches and a main track entrance that didn't get in have limited the field to only 4 horses. So it should be a pretty easy one, I hope, to cover. But at 1 mile, they've run on the turf 9 races. 3 were won by speed. So that means 6 were won that were not speed. 1 went wire to wire. It's fair. But it doesn't really matter, I don't think, with the post positions with only 4 horses. What do you think?
No, I don't think it has much effect on it at all. So
no, not so whatsoever at all. Considering the scratches, Terry, I did the little pace setup that we like to have. And here you can see the 6 horse, which is, I think, technical analysis. It's an EP horse. It's going to be on the lead. We'll get to that in a second. The 1, Alms, the 3, Plum Ali. They'll probably chase with the 5 horse. Flower Point in 4th, trying to run them down. Hopefully, in these races like this with only 4 horses in the field, Terry, a lot of times the horse that gets to the lead stays on the lead, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Good morning, Charles. How are you today, my man? Hopefully is all well where you are today.
Yep.
So looking at the pace setup in that race, as I mentioned, the 6 horse technical analysis is the fastest by a pretty good margin out of the gate over everybody else. And then on the way home, Plum Ali and Alms are the horses with the strongest late legs. Technical analysis is a little bit behind on that. The question is, how hard are they going to make it run up front? So if they push technical analysis too hard early, that will they have the late legs that they need to bring the race home at the end? So that, I think, is the question. Looking at the speed range, again, the 2 horses out, the 4 horses out. So I didn't have a way to take them out of the chart and still have the right post position on the bottom, Terry.
Yeah.
So looking at this, it looks to me like it's a pretty even race between the 1, the 5, and the 6. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it is, although I think it's going to really come down to whoever this speed horse is going to be, and I'm pretty sure I know which one that is.
You do, eh?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's run down the field, Terry. Okay. First up, the number 1. Well, there's not much to run down here now, is there?
No.
All right. So Alms is the one horse. What do you say about it?
Well, Alms broke bad and ran sixth, only losing by 3.5 lengths in her last race, and she drops in class today. This trainer wins 17% of the time when he ships a horse in, and her best turf speed is fastest among today's starters. Jockey in the last 7 days has finished 9 out of 15 times and won 4 of those races. This is a horse that in the past I've bet a couple of times and really liked. Anyway, my second choice. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, so yeah, we're not going through choices. So Charles asks, do we use the RR, I think race rating and the class rating in numbers in subscript in the Brisnet form? I use them as really kind of tiebreakers. I look at the horse first, and then I use them as tiebreakers if I can't figure out which horse I really want to go with. I really like to use them a little bit more when I'm looking at like an international horse or a horse that's shipping from one track to the next. And then I also have like my own mental notes, and this is one thing, one of these days I'd like to really sit down and do with the data is take a whole bunch of races from maybe across a year or two, put all of them together, and then try to find horses that cross from one track to the other, to the other, to the other, and try to get like a mosaic of really what that penalty or bonus is moving from one track to the next. I've seen it somewhere, but I haven't been able to find it again. So if you know where that is, Charles, or anybody knows where we can find that kind of, the bounce or the drop based upon if you're going from Santa Anita to Turf Paradise, or you're going from Delaware to Aqueduct, or from Parks to Aqueduct, or Aqueduct to Laurel. When those horses make those moves, I call them track drops. I have it mentally in my head, but I would like to actually quantify that.
Yeah.
Anyway, for me, Alms, Terry, the question is, can it get off to a good start? Horses, when it's done its best, has been closer to the front. I expect it'll be the one that's right behind Technical Analysis, the 6 horse. Hasn't run at Aqueduct yet. Last time out, the horse did show a little bit of regression in the early half of the race and did show some late improvement. I think the early half of the race, as you mentioned, is where this is going to be won. Number 2, Giacosa. Is that horse scratched, Harry?
It is. Yes, that horse is scratched.
So number 3, Pamali, making its first start since November the 14th. Kind of rewinding a little bit. The horse has run well off the bench, has a bullet workout, but it's not really one coming off the bench. It usually finishes second or third. So I would not be surprised if it does that again, Terry.
Yeah, that's true. Although it did win its last race at Aqueduct on the turf, and as you said, it has a bullet workout. This horse likes the turf's been in the money 6 out of 11 times, won 4 of those, and it's got Manuel Franco in its saddle. I think that it's got a pretty good chance in here.
I think if it gets off a quick start, Plum Ali. I mean, Manny Franco, to me, maybe I'm wrong on this, but to me, Manny Franco is a little better on the front of the race than he is in the middle or the back. Halo City is the main track only entry, so obviously it's not running today. Flower Point looks to me like it is going to be the lone closer in the field.
Yeah.
So if the other 3 horses decide to get a little bit out their minds this Saturday, maybe it opens up I would think Flower Point's going to pass at least one of them as they maybe try to press too hard, maybe 2 of them. So Jose Lescano, Flower Point, Terry, what do you think?
Yeah, she won her last race at Aqueduct on last November and on the turf, and she has a high percentage winning trainer, and also her highest speed figure at today's distance is the best. She has several very good workouts in a row for preparation for this race, and I think she might just be something that could upset the rest of the field.
Well, number 6, Technical Analysis. This one is another one that's been off for a long time. Hasn't run since October the 16th at Keeneland. Unquestionably, I think this is the one, Terry, that's going to get to the front and make them chase him down. The workouts have been pretty sturdy getting prepared for the spot. So I think she'll come back ready to go. And the one thing that might be a little bit different here is Jose Ortiz has been the one that's ridden this horse every single time until today when Dylan Davis takes them out.
Yeah, that's true. She's finished in the money 6 out of 7 career races, and she's winning a few of those. She has a high percentage winning trainer, Chad Brown. She has the highest last speed rating, drops in class today. The shorter distance will benefit her and she has the highest figure at today's distance and a sharp workout, 48 breezing. And I think if she gets out there and she doesn't get too much pressure, she'll just go all the way.
Yeah, she's going to go all the way. So will she go all the way, Terry? How are you ranking them?
Yeah, she's my first pick, number six. Yeah.
Well, there's only 4 horses here. So what we're going to have to make of this is we're going to have to make this the Superfecta Ice Cold Challenge, Terry.
That's it. Then I like number 3, Plum Alley, is my second pick.
Mm-hmm.
And then I like number 5, Flower Point, is my third pick. And of course, number 1 is my fourth pick.
Well,
challenge.
we have them exactly the same. So there's no challenge, I suppose. I can switch one around in the back to see, but I have the same exact order. Technical analysis gets the lead, and then the rest of them try to come behind him. Getting mounts, look for him on closers at Aqueduct, but not at a short price for Javier. Yeah. Manny Franco, didn't he the one that switched? He switched away from, oh God, I can't remember his name right now, but he switched away from his agent, who's Angel Cordero, right? Was his agent. It was that Manny Franco. And I'm trying to just pull that out of memory. So I could be wrong.
I don't remember if it is or not. So I'll tell you the truth.
Yeah.
My memory's worse than yours. So
no, you must have none left then, Terry.
Yeah.
The next race we're going to do today is race number 11 at Oaklawn Park. This is the Count Fleet Sprint Handicap. It's a grade 3. Probably should have saved this one for the last, Terry, because it is a $500,000 race, the only graded race that we'll be covering today. This one, Terry, is 6 furlongs, and they've run a whole lot of 6 furlong races at Oaklawn Park. In fact, they've run 290 of them, Terry.
Wow.
Yes, indeed. 191 of the 290 were won by speed horses, and then 87 of which went wire to wire. And if you look at the post position stuff, it's all played fairly fair. So there's really not a whole lot of opportunity to benefit from getting a favorable draw. Looking at the pace setup for this race, Terry, it looks like most of these horses are going to be forwardly placed, starting off with the 5 horse. And this is not necessarily how they're going to come out of the gate, folks. Sean made me double explain this the other day. What this chart is when you look at these horses, how they've actually won races before. Yeah. So the 5 horse had to be on the lead to win. The 1, 3, or 4 could be on the lead or pressure the lead. The 2 horse was pressuring, so not on the lead. And the only way the 6 horses come home is as a closer. So that's the way to look at that chart. If you want to look at pace, how they'll come out of the gate, that's this one right here. And that's Jackie's Warrior, unquestionably going to come out of the gate with a little bit of a lead. But surprisingly, Empire of Gold won't be all that far behind.
Yeah, I understand.
All right. Well, I mean, what's his name? Sean made me explain that to him the other day because he said we're always in conflict over how horses are going to come out of the gate. This is how I expect them to actually line up on the track. So when this lines up with this, then you know Jackie's Warrior is likely to be on the lead. Empire of Gold's likely to be second. The 3 horse is down here. So maybe the 3 horse won't get its normal position, Terry, which could be a detriment to that horse because it usually wants to be close to the lead. And if it's not on the lead, could get discouraged. And then on the way home, Bob's Edge actually has a really good late pace advantage, but surprisingly of the rest of the field, Jackie's Warrior is the horse that has the second best late pace figures. And then if you look here at the way these horses have their speed ranges, it looks to me like Jackie's Warrior, the 5 horses, in a class a little bit ahead of everybody else in here.
Yeah, that appears to be the same to me. So,
all right, well, let's get cracking on Mojo Man number 1. What do you think about Mojo Man, Terry?
Yeah, he won his last race at Oaklawn Park at today's distance, and he's been increasing his speed rating each and every race, which means he's really racing into form. He's done that 3 races in a row, and he has a good workout on April 8th, 5 furlongs of, a minute and 1 and change, fourth out of 13 workouts.
Yeah, so if I look at Mojo Man, Terry, this is a horse that last time out ran a pretty good race, won, but its fractions were pretty similar to the race before, just a little bit quicker, so you see some improvement there. I did see a little early race improvement, a little bit late race improvement, so I expect Mojo Man might continue on that path higher, although this is one of the first times in a couple of years where the horse has actually made it 5 races in a row without a break. So to me, that's a little bit of a question mark. chip off the old block, Terry. I think in our conversations from you and I, neither one of us qualify under that reading.
That's true.
The horse is working out pretty well. It looks to me like one that's going to want to come off the pace a little bit. Is a fan of the distance, though. Terry's run there 14 times with 6 wins. He's run 14 times at other distances and only managed to cross the tape first in 2 of those.
Yeah, that's right. And he's finished, he's finished, let's see here. I lost my place for a minute. 5 out of, in the money, 5 out of 8 races at Oaklawn Park. And he also has a pretty good workout on April 10th, 7th best of 72 workouts. He's going to be closing. He'll either be mid-pack or maybe a little bit farther back than that. So
Charles, when you say you like the Mojo Man based on the pace chart, are you talking about this chart here? This one here, Mojo Man? The one, yeah. So he should be mid-pack and should be running late. So maybe a little bit of an opportunity for that horse to take advantage of, sit right behind Jackie's Warrior, a couple paces behind Jackie's Warrior, and then just run by the ones that can't pass Jackie's Warrior. Number 3, Let's Get Lucky, Terry. Sometimes I feel like I'd rather be Let's Get Lucky than Let's Be Good. For example, yesterday, Terry, speaking of 3 horses, Terry and I are both in a handicapping contest to see if we can make our way to Las Vegas a year from now for the National Handicapping Championship. Yeah, I don't know. I ended up winning 3 or 4 races out of 10. I had a couple of horses that finished second place. Even had a horse that paid $20. What pay $8, $16, $18? That 4 horse yesterday at Keeneland. And still, the 3 horse that won the first leg of that contest paid more than having 3 winners and 2 second place horses. And sometimes I really wonder what people are doing in these things, Terry, because when you look back, there really wasn't a whole lot of reason to take that 3 other than it was the longest shot in the contest.
That's true. And if you look at the first 4 or 5 finishers, they all played just long shots every race. So,
makes you want to go crazy. But what do you think about Let's Get Lucky?
Yeah, well, I think Let's Get Lucky right from Southern California after finishing in the money 9 out of the last 9 career races and won 3 of those, including the last race at Santa Anita. And he has a jockey in the last 7 days who's been in the money 8 out of 18 times, winning 6 of those races.
All right. So number 4, Empire of Gold, is a horse that I do think will be the one that's right behind Jackie's Warrior, or maybe actually try to press Jackie's Warrior and see if they can burn it. Horse is working out exceptionally well with 2 very good workouts, Terry. You could say, it's coming in from Remington Park, but it's had some experience at Oaklawn, running there twice with a win and a 3rd. So I'm not scared off by the track upgrade, and I'm not scared off because you have some pretty good workouts there.
No, and that's true. Even if a horse is ran at a track like Remington Park and then comes into Oaklawn, if you've got some past history at Oaklawn, he's done well, then I'm not worried about it either. So, and as you said, he has 2 bullet workouts in a row, and he's actually finished 100% of the time in the money at Oaklawn Park and won one of those. And last year he won 2 out of 8 races, and he ran 5 times in the money. So
yeah, and he's one of the lighter weight horses too at 116, and because it's a handicap where they're going to actually handicap the horses in terms of weight. So the high weight horse obviously is going to be number 5. Jackie's Warrior, coming in carrying 123 pounds. Last time out, it ran in the Breeders' Cup Sprint as the 1-2 favorite when you were there freezing in the bad food, Terry, at Del Mar.
Yeah.
And I'm only kidding. I don't know about the food, but the weather was terrible, that's for sure. And that scratch of that one horse marred the entire experience for me because that killed my pick 4 ticket and it killed your friend's pick 6 ticket. But
Yep.
Jackie's Warrior going to rebound off of that Breeders' Cup miss.
Well, Jackie Warrior loves to win, whereas has won 8 out of 12 starts in his career. And he has a highest speed favorite today's distance. The best start speed is the fastest among today's starters. He's got first-time Lasix. This horse likes to go to the front and lead all the way, but I think in this race he's going to get a little bit of pressure.
Well, speed and Lasix, Terry, I'm a fan of that. So you're right. Getting first-time Lasix absolutely has speed. Joel Rosario been on the horse for every one of the rides. Interestingly, Terry, 8 wins in 12 races. One of the places it did not win was at the Southwest Stakes here at Oaklawn Park, where it finished second behind Essential Quality and Spielberg. Now, Essential Quality, missing to Essential Quality is excusable, but missing against Spielberg may not be excusable, Terry.
Yeah.
But I do think that clearly Jackie's Warrior is the class of the race here. The question is, does it? I don't think anyone's going to be near it. It's going to control the pace from start to finish, unless Steve Asmussen wants the horse to do something different today, like sit off the pace, see if it could come back like Epicenter did in that last race. Finally, Bob's Edge. This one is the second favorite, basically co-favorite at 2-1. This one's the one that's going to come from off the pace. It has run at Oaklawn 6 times and it's been on the board every single time. Been on the board every single time. It's run 6 furlongs as well, Terry. So Bob's Edge. Can Bob's Edge get it done?
Oh, I think so. Won 2 races in a row. Won the Whitmore Grade 3 race in his last race, and he's now going for a hat trick. He has the highest last speed rating. He has a high percentage winning trainer and a sharp 5 furlong workout at Oaklawn Park, 101 breezing, 6 of 23. And, this horse I think is going to come from behind and catch the front runners, because I think Jackie's Warrior is going to get some pressure from other horses. And the other thing is Jackie's Warrior hasn't ran since last November. This horse just ran in March. So I kind of give this one the edge. So.
Indeed. So, what's up, Attila? How are you today? Thursday Keeneland selections were in the money offering value. Congrats. Yeah, Terry did a much better than I did on Thursday. So, though I did hit my nice long shot there with that 6th horse, and Terry hit his hit on the 11, which is really funny because if each one of us had the other guy's long shot, we would have both hit the pick 4.
We would have.
In the old days, I texted Terry and said, back in the old days, when we used to do just the pick 4, so we would be alive today, Terry, because I would have put my 6 in, you would have put your 11 in, and we would have hit it.
That's it. We sure would have.
I guess the adage of 2 heads are better than 1, 2 minds are better than 1 is always, it proves to be true on this show all the time, right?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, I did have a pretty good day. I had 6 trifectas, 2 superfectas, and of course, all of those races were exactas for me. So, and we both had our long shot right. I had my pick of the day, and I think, didn't you have your pick of the day too, or not?
I don't really remember, because for me, Terry, if I don't win a lot, I get very frustrated. Right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I am a perfectionist. I'm my own worst critic, and I can be very hard on myself. Which is just, back in college, I tell my kids, you don't know how lucky you are to have like a computer and a word processor. Yeah. Back in my day in school, we had to type everything on a typewriter. Remember, Terry?
I do.
And when I first started typing, they didn't have the typewriters you can go back and correct yourself.
Right.
So you had to then use the whiteout and then realign things, and it would never be lined correctly. And I would get so angry that the things weren't lined correctly. Like you'd have one letter here and one letter down here, it's like you're typing a ransom note or something. Yep. And I would literally take the sheet out with both hands of my typewriter and rip it out, crumble it up, and throw it like Randy Johnson style across my room. And then I think to myself, why did you just do that? Now you got to type 1,000 words again.
You know what I did? I used to write it out longhand, and then I got my girlfriend to type it for me, who was a very excellent typer.
Well, you were smarter than I was.
Yeah, she got an A+ every time she took typing class.
Maybe the girls liked you more than they liked me. I don't know. But anyway, here we go. Terry today does have his best bet of the day. It is Keeneland race 11. And as I mentioned, if you want to see what we think about the Keeneland races today, you can also find them today over at horseracingtoday.net for the 3 big stakes races, including the Lexington. And I have some crazy long wild shots today. Tom, the spirit of Tom in his absence just took over me. So I got 20-1s on top. I'm either going to be brilliant today at Keeneland, or I'm going to be a dumb as hell. Probably dumb as hell, but
the reason I picked number 11th at Keeneland is because we did the 8, 9, 10 on our show, and this gives everybody a chance if they want to play the pick 4 and use some of our picks to do that. So,
see, Terry's always thinking for everybody, right? 11 beat my long shot. Yeah, Terry's 11 beat my race too, and I had the next horse. Well, we both had that horse. What was it? Something Kitten as the second pick, the 8 horse. Yep.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't even close though, because that horse kicked off. And I mean, I don't know. Can you really make IRAD a long shot anymore? I mean,
No,
because
it's
he
hard.
was, yeah, I mean, he was riding that 11 and he brought it home. So the next
Okay.
two races we're going to do are at
Well,
Woodbine.
let's do our picks first. We
Oh,
didn't do our
okay.
picks.
Sorry, Terry. We didn't do our picks for the
Yeah.
Oaklawn, the Oaklawn race. So fire away.
Yeah, I like number 6, Bob's Edge, is my first pick.
Oh, Terry's getting crazy.
Yeah, and then I like number 5, which is Jackie's Warrior, is my second pick.
Mm-hmm.
And then I like number 3, Let's Get Lucky, is my third pick. And then number 1, Mojo Man, is my fourth pick.
So I'm going to go Jackie's Warrior, then Bob, and then I'm going to go with the 4 and the 1. So that's how I'm lining up. 5, 6, 4 and 1, Terry, for the Oaklawn race. Now we can move on to Woodbine, which opens up. And I mistakenly thought it was the first time when Sean and I did the Sports Center show, Horse Center show, Sports Center. And I'm really going to get in trouble with the copyright people. The Horse Center show, and that's Horse Space Center, not Horse Center, not one word. For all of you critics, but in any case, just joking, of course. But you can check that show out every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Sean and I usually have on a pretty good guest. We have 15, 20 minutes, a half an hour with a jockey, a trainer, or some personality in the horse racing business. And then we talk a little bit about the daily news. And a lot of folks seem to like those interviews. So if you want to learn more about the people behind the scenes on the horses, training the horses, or owning the horses, make sure you check out Horse Center every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on Horse Racing Radar TV on YouTube. While you're here, if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button. And then follow along with us on our social media at Horse Race, the number 2 day, on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And we're closing in on that 1,000. So Sean's going to have the most wonderful day and break the internet.
Yeah, I don't think he's looking too much forward to that.
Nah, put it this way. When Sean does that, if we send that in like a space capsule, when they have those, I forget what it's called, like the Voyager, where they put like a little stuff on it to send out just in case some alien life finds it. They're going to put that video on there as a means by which to make sure the aliens never come to attack us.
I think that's great. Great news.
All right. So race number 7 on Saturday today at Woodbine, we have the Long Branch Stakes. It's a short field again, 6 horses. They're going to run 5.5 furlongs on the all-weather surface at Woodbine. And they ran at the last meet 87 races like that, 66 of which were won by speed. 23 horses led from gate to wire. And then there's a small rail bias. It plays fair from posts 2 through 7, and just a tiny drop if you wear an 8 or an out. That doesn't come into play on Saturday. It will come into play on Sunday. But for today, it won't be the issue. And if we take a look at the charts for the race at, race 3. So looking at race 3, this is what the shape looks like. Here you kind of have you have a little bit of horses that have won on the front. Well, the 6 horses only ever won on the front. The 1, the 3, and the 4 can win from the front, or pilot, or maybe co-pilot, or maybe assistant pilot. The 2 horses never won from the front, but's been close to the lead. The 5 and the 7 can be close to the lead. They can be in the middle, or they can close. So they have some versatility there. Looking at the pace setup, Terry, the 6 horse, I'm a Beast, that's going to have the most early pace. But the 4 won't be too far behind, and Dreaming of Drew coming around the corner. And as they come home on that long stretch at Woodbine, it seems to go on forever. Number 1, Secret Agent's going to have the most late legs. The 4 and the 3, Dreaming of Drew and Genie B, won't be that far behind. And if we take a measure of their speed ratings, this is what their speed rating range looks like. And it looks to me like, based upon their top, low, and average speed numbers, you want to take a look specifically at the 1, the 3, and the 4.
That's right.
So the 1 horse is Our Secret Agent. It is the 7-5 favorite, Terry. Run at Woodbine 9 times. It's finished in the money in 9 races with 3 wins. But it looks to me like it maybe like to hang a little bit, finishing second 5 times.
Yeah, that's true. It does that quite a bit. So anyway, I'll tell you what, this horse has finished 9 times I've been in the money 9 times out of 9 starts at Woodbine. And she ran second versus Tougher last race. She has the highest last race speed rating, and her best all-weather speed is fastest among today's starters. She drops in class today. The trainer wins 25% of the time when bringing back a beaten favorite. The only thing is she hasn't raced since, let's see, last October.
Since November, yeah, middle of November, which is the case for a lot of these horses.
It is.
Most of them, because a lot of them are Woodbine based, and they've been off.
There's a couple that have raced since then, but the rest of them have not. So
yeah. So number 2, for example, Nike Can was running down at Gulfstream Park for Jose D'Angelo, and then now moves its way north to Woodbine. Hasn't run since February the 12th. This is one that tends to come from off the pace, Terry. Did have one run across the Gulfstream Park, Tapeta, to kind of get a sense of how it may or may not like the all-weather track, the synthetic stuff up there in Toronto. Had a second place finish in that race, and it was kind of an even race. Started off about 1.5 lengths behind the leader, finished a half a length behind the leader. So never really improved its position much, but didn't really lose its position much.
Yeah, she's finished in the money in the last 3 races, winning one and then ran second in her last race. And she has a really good workout on April 1st, 3 furlongs, 36 flat breezing, second best out of 17.
The other horse in here, number 3, that has run recently, real recently, it ran on March the 10th, so a little bit more than a month ago, down at Gulfstream Park as well, making the trip north for trainer Mark Cass, who does usually pretty well at the Woodbine Toronto track. Second start off a layoff for this horse has typically been a little bit of a backup. At least 2 out of the last 3 times the horse has made a second start, it regressed off the first start. It's going to be the 3rd run for this horse across an all-weather track. The other time the horse ran an all-weather track was last time out at Gulfstream, and way back when at Chelmsford City in Great Britain, before it shipped over here, where it actually won. So what do you think its chances are to find its second win on an all-weather track?
Yeah, as you said, she's won 1 out of 2 races on all-weather surfaces, and the trainer wins 20% of the time on all-weather surfaces. She is a horse that I would probably pass on, though.
The next horse is Dreaming of Drew, and I'm a little bit confused now, Terry, because the other day we did a show, I was talking about Patrick Husbands up there at Woodbine, and someone told me he had retired. And there he is. So
yeah,
maybe he came out. That was like a Tom Brady retirement, huh?
Yeah,
it didn't last very long from Wednesday to today. Anyway, Dreaming of Drew. This horse has been off for forever. Hasn't run since what?
October
of but I think of 2020.
Is that really true?
Yeah, because it's 3 lines.
You're right.
It's been off for forever. But the horse last time out did run the fastest. 4 furlong workout, 47 breezing, fastest of 162, Terry. So against a big block of horses at Woodbine. Can he come back off of that big long break and get the W?
Well, this horse won at Woodbine on an all-weather surface the last time. It was the Princess Elizabeth Stakes, 250K. Has that bullet workout you were talking about. And I think Patrick Husbands came out of retirement just to ride this one because he's on it again, and he's the one that won on her the last race.
Interesting. Mariats, the 5 horse, another horse that's been on the sidelines since about Thanksgiving. Workouts here are okay, probably a little on the slow side, except for the one back on March 25th where it ran a little bit better. The horse has run at Woodbine 9 times, 3 wins and a second. Really not much of a history coming off of a long layoff like this, so kind of hard to tell what's going to do. Trainer Don Peterski, only 2 horses that have been away for a long time, so I think this one 20-1 probably about the right place, and if it comes in, it beats you, it beats you.
Yeah, that's true. This horse actually likes Woodbine and the all-weather surface, finishing the money 5 out of 9 races, and she won the last race she ran in. The trainer wins 29% of the time on all-weather surface, and also she has a good workout on April 12th.
All right, so the last horse there's actually 7 horses in this field.
Yeah,
number 6, I'm a Beast, another that's been off since November the 27th. Speed figures are a little bit lower than some of the top horses in this field, Terry. It has a history of coming off the bench, and in doing so, 2 out of 3 times kind of really didn't factor. The one time in the middle got to the lead at an all-weather track at Woodbine, but just still kind of faded at the end for a second by a nose. So if it can revert back to that form, maybe it'll be competitive early on. And if it can be competitive early on, then it'll have a chance. What do you think its odds are of being a part of the pace early?
Well, this horse hasn't won since 2020. That's a long time to go without a win. So I think this one I would pass on.
Well, the one thing I got to say, Terry, is on April the 3rd, it did put together a really nice workout, the fastest of 60 at Woodbine. So 60 horses, again, that's a big enough chunk to know that that number's real. Yeah. Even if the clocker was wrong, the where it ranked in the clockings was pretty good. Number 7, Imagery, is a horse that's making its 8th start at Woodbine, where it has 1 win, 2 seconds, and 2/3. The last couple of times this horse came off the bench after an extended break, it did not run well at all. So I feel like you might see that again today.
Well, that could be. This last race that she ran in, she ran 3rd, finishing by 2.5 lengths. But she was off slow and boxed in the stretch, so she lost a little bit of her chance to win. She had won the previous race at 5.5 furlongs. She likes this distance, okay. And like you said, she's been in the money 5 out of 7 times. So
EF Charles B says his long shot play today is race 2 at Keeneland. FTS 1 Camp Daddy, 20-1 morning line. Morning line checks all of the boxes for this horse. And then he says at Woodbine track will be bombs away. Opening day favorites don't win. Well, I hope you're right, because we're about to make our picks here, and I have a couple bombs in mind, Terry. So make yours.
Okay. Well, I like actually the horse that hasn't raced since 2020, number 4, Dreaming of Drew. I think this horse is going to come out and run a really good race. That's my first pick. Mm-hmm. And then my second pick is, of course, the morning line favorite, Our Secret Agent, number 1. My third pick is the number 2 horse, which is Niki Can, I guess is what you pronounce it. And then I like number 7, a little bit of a long shot, Imaginary is my 4th pick.
Well, I'm going to start with Our Secret Agent. I feel like that's the best horse in the field that's done a lot of good work over the track. I'm going to take a shot on I Am a Beast off of those workouts, the 6 horse, that April 3rd workout. And then I'm going to go with number 2, Niki Can. And then I'm going to go with number 4, the horse that's been off forever. I think that'll still be a little rusty, Terry, even though it might be the best horse in this race. And if it's a little bit rusty off of that time off, just a slight delay out of the gate is enough, I think, to put the horse to hurt its chances to win. So that's the way I'm going to rank them. I'm going to go 1, 6, 2, 4. And then, Terry, before we move on to the Sunday race, if you like to support the show, you like what you see, a couple things you can do. You can like us on Facebook. I want to thank Robin Seeger for giving us the thumbs up on Facebook. If you like what you saw too, please give us a thumbs up on Facebook. And while you're here at watching the show on YouTube, a thumbs up there, would appreciate that as well, because Google uses the ratios to put us into the algorithms when you search horse racing. Right now, I want to thank everybody. We have a 98% plus to negative thumbs up to thumbs down ratio. So thank you for that. And the other way you can support us is heading on over to horseracingtoday.net, hit on HRT gear, get yourself a little bit of Horse Racing Today gear. So when you go to the track, you're going to look great. Support your favorite horse number, support your favorite horse racing show, and you're going to look better and become a better handicapper. Isn't that right, Terry? That's why correct. You had that 11 horse the other day.
That's right. That's exactly why I did. I was wearing number 11 too, wasn't I?
I don't remember, Terry. Didn't we just talk a couple minutes ago about our memory?
Yeah, I don't remember either. But that's a good thing. I think when I'm going to do that on my long shot, I'm going to try to wear the number.
Well, you're going to have to get a lot of numbers then.
Yeah, I will.
All right. Yeah, I got them. I got it to 4, and I got the 10 and the 3 coming. So I can't wait to see how good I look in purple, Terry. All right. So we're going to move over one day on the calendar to tomorrow, Sunday, Easter Sunday. It is the Thorncliffe Stakes. It's a 5.5 furlong race. As I mentioned, 5.5 furlongs. They've had 66 races last year. 23 were won by speed. There's a small rail bias. 2 through 7 play fair. There is a slight drop if you wear an 8 or above, which does come into play in this race. I think there's, 9 horses in this field today, Terry?
Yeah.
6 or tomorrow, 7, 8, 9. Yes, a 9-horse field.
9 horses.
So hopefully Charles Bombs Away comes in again. I got to play one particular horse, but we'll get to that in a minute, and you'll probably know why already, Terry. But looking at the race shape here for the Thorncliffe Stakes, this is how these horses have won in the past. The 2-horse, Richie's in the house, baby.
That's right. That's
one,
right.
One on the lead. The 6-horse is another one that's only ever one on the lead, and that is Spite Store. Although 1-horse is a horse that can ride pilot or co-pilot in Silent Poet. The 7-horse is another one that can ride pilot or co-pilot, Arzak. And then looking the 4 and the 5, I think these 2 horses are going to be in a good spot because they can pressure the lead. And if it goes too slow, they can really become up the tempo. And if it goes too fast, they can sit right off the pace and close. They should have an advantage over the 3, 8, and 9, which have only ever won closing. Looking at the early pace, again, it matches up with the way horses have won. The 6 and the 2, Spite Store and Richie's in the house, will be most likely your fastest 2 out of the gate, although the 1, 4, and 7 might not be that far behind. On the way home, La Pocacha, whatever, and Not So Quiet will be the fastest of the late comers. And according to the speed ranges of these horses, Terry, it looks like a very competitive race for horses 1 through 5. And then there's a little bit of a tail off for 6, 7, 8, and 9. So it looks to me like the odds are you're going to find your winner in posts 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Specifically, the 5-horse having the highest average and the highest high water mark.
That's right. Well, if we're going to start with the number 1 Silent Poet, he won his last race at Woodbine, which was a grade 1. He drops in class today, and he's won 50% of his starts since he started his career.
Well, unfortunately, most of those wins, Terry, have come on the turf. So this one is on the all-weather for the 1-horse. He's run on the all-weather 5 times with a win, a second, and a third. He's coming off the bench since August the 22nd, so about 9 months. It's been a long time for him. When he's had extended breaks, Terry, the last time he had a pretty long extended break, he actually came back to win. Another extended break, finished 5th, so a mixed bag on coming off the bench. The workouts are middle of the road, so I think that if this race were on turf, I'd be more inclined to put him higher than what I would be willing to do on the all-weather track. Number 2, Terry, this horse is going to win. You can book it right now. You don't even need to think anymore. Beyond the name, Richie is in the house.
Yeah, I knew that would be one you'd like, because Richie's in the house, has finished in the money in the last 4 races, winning 2 of those, getting the highest race speed rating. He ran second versus Tougher in his last race. He drops in class. He has a winner trainer who wins 50% of the non-graded stakes. His best all-weather speed is fast among today's starters. Marks off lots of the boxes.
But the most important box of all is the name. And Emma Jane Wilson is going to be the jockey here. And just a little bit of a heads up, I think sometime in May, I think maybe the first Monday in May. So the weekend, or maybe it's going to be the Monday after the Kentucky Derby. Emma Jane will be the guest on Horse Center. So you're going to make sure you want to tune in and check that one out.
All right.
And number 3 is La Pochka. There we go, Terry. It has it run since the early part of December. It has a fantastic record at Woodbine, 18 races, 6 of them on the all-weather track where they came home the winner. The workouts, though, getting ready for this spot, Terry, have been at best, and that's if you're really looking in the positive light, okay.
Yeah. Actually won 2 races at Woodbine the last 2 races on all-weather track. Trainer wins 26% of the time. When he brings a winner of the last race back to race, and this horse actually has, like you said, kind of mediocre workouts. But last year he won. He won 5 out of 10, which was 50%. So
That's a pretty good number, 50%.
Mhm.
The 4 horse is not so quiet, Terry. I don't think that either one of us fall under that category. Has run twice at the distance, won both of them, coming off a layoff last time out. Did have the lead late, gave it up, so maybe a little bit of rust there. It's another one where the workouts are middle. Well, they're a little bit better than average. So perhaps the horse can come off the bench and do well. It's a little bit of an all or nothing horse in that 16 races, managed to win 8 of them. No seconds and just a couple of thirds. So it looks to me like it's pretty much going to be all or nothing for Not So Quiet. Win or off the board. What do you think?
Yeah, well, he's won 4 out of the last 6 races, and he won the last 2 races at Woodbine on an all-weather track. The trainer wins 20% of the time on all-weather surfaces, and what I like about this horse is he can either run on top and win, or he can come from mid-pack to win the race.
Number 5, White Flag, is another one, Terry, that looks to me like it's better served on the turf than it is on the all-weather track. Antonio Gallardo in the mounts for Roger Adfield, who usually does pretty well up there at Woodbine. This is a $100,000 horse, so not a cheapie by any stretch of the imagination. Has only 4 races in the last 2 years with 1 win in there. I don't know, Terry. This one's kind of a wild card to me.
It is. He's only won 1 race in the last 2 years, and he drops in class today. Try to improve his chances of winning, but he's a horse that I would probably pass.
He's a little on the old side, too.
Yeah.
8-year-old, right?
Yeah.
Spite Store is a 4-year-old. And this one is running for Ian Howard and Stephen Bahan. Last time out, did win at Woodbine. That was way, way back in November. The last time it had the same exact rate. Well, not as long, but from November off to June, it came back to run second. Been in the money 6 of 7 at Woodbine. So do you think maybe you can make it 7 of 8?
Yeah, as you said, he's been in the money 6 of 7. He's won 2 of those, including the last 2 races at Woodbine on an all-weather surface. He's 15-1 in the morning line. I'm not really sure he can win this race, but I think he's going to get in the exotics.
Yeah, the only thing is, though, he likes to be up front. And, well, there's not a whole lot of speed in here, so maybe that's a possibility. And Richie's in the house, so the 2 that are going to get to the lead. And the lead does win. So Arzak is the 7 horse. Kazushi Kumara, and as our friend Charles pointed out, keep an eye on these horses, Terry. He says these horses should have a pretty good weekend that are ridden by Kimara. 1 time at Woodbine, and it won.
Yeah, well, he ran 6th in his last race after being bumped and running wide during the race, and this trainer wins 23% of the time that he runs a horse on an all-weather surface. He could improve because he's returning to a sprint. So,
well, I also like the fact that if you look back at his workouts, on April the 1st, a bullet. March the 26th, a bullet. March the 19th, a bullet. March the 5th, a bullet. Last time out on April the 9th, ran 9th fastest out of 38. That looks to me like what I would call a maintenance workout, just to keep the sharpness. So I think Azrak is a horse that you got to keep your eye on. Yeah. Lenny K is a horse that's run at Woodbine 9 times, has 9, been in the money 7 of those times. Another one of those horses that hasn't run since late November, has a lot of black bull type in front of it and behind it. So it has beaten. Well, I mean, they lost to Pink Lloyd last time out. Everybody loses to Pink Lloyd up there in Woodbine.
Yeah,
but did beat Richie's in the house last time out. And then did beat Spite Store a couple times back to it. So has some black type behind it that's in this race with it, Terry.
Yeah. His last race was a grade 3 affair where he ran 6, but he has won 3 races out of 9 starts at Woodbine, and he drops in class today. And the trainer wins 20% of the non-graded stakes that he enters a horse in.
It's a pretty good number there for Kevin Attard. Those Attard people do pretty well up there.
Yep.
Number 9, Clear Destination. This one's probably destination might not be the winner's circle, Terry.
Yeah.
This one has hasn't run since September, making its first start for Patrick Dixon, who only won 2 out of 22 times doing that. Not the highest angle for the trainer. Horse is going from turf to all weather, only won 1 out of 11 going that way. So it seems like a lot of things working against Clear Destination. Has faced up against a couple of these horses before and finished 12 lengths and 39 lengths behind. So Clear Destination really needs to have a lot of clear improvement. And I don't really see anything in the workouts to suggest that's going to happen outside of the fact that Charles thinks that bombs might be the way on opening day at Woodbine.
Yeah, he just doesn't want to win. He hasn't won in over 2 years. This is another horse that I would pass on.
All right. Well, we're done passing, Terry, and it's time to pass along our picks. So who do you got?
Okay, so what I got so far is I like Richie's in the House. Number 2 is my first pick. And then my second pick is Not So Quiet, which neither of us are.
No.
The number 4. My third pick is Spite Store, number 6. And my fourth pick is Silent Poet, number 1.
Well, I'm going to go with Richie's in the House. I couldn't go any other way, Terry.
Yep.
And then I'm also going to go with Not So Quiet. So we're starting out the same. I do have Silent Poet as my third pick, but I'm going to, and it was a real tough call between Silent Poet and Arzak. I might flip those two around. In fact, I'm going to do it right here on the show. I'm going to edit on the fly. I'm going to go 2, 4, 7, and 1 tomorrow at Woodbine, Terry. Again, that is a Sunday race that we just discussed there.
Yep.
All right. We made it through another Saturday stakes, right?
That's right.
Absolutely. A lot of fun. Remember, the guys, the purses at Woodbine are in Canadian dollars, not to us to take the purses and convert them. Yeah, I know the Canadian dollars, and the way our dollar is going, we all might want to go to Canada. I don't know, though. The way Trudeau goes up there, I don't know I want to go up there either, though.
I know.
Right? Because now they are taking people's bank accounts if you don't agree with them. Which is
they're taking a lot of the freedoms away up there. That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on. In any case, Terry, we'll stay away from all that nonsense and stick to horse racing. That wraps up our Saturday Stakes show, Terry. Any final thoughts? Well, let's talk a little bit on Monday. You and I will be back on Monday. It looks like there's a little bit of a light schedule. We'll probably do Turf Paradise, but you're going to start to see, I see some of the track rosters change as tracks close and tracks open.
Mm-hmm.
So right now it looks to me like, yeah, we'll do Turf Paradise on Monday. Do you want to we'll do Parks on Tuesday like we normally do, and then we'll see what's running on Wednesday because Indiana Grand is opening. I don't know if Keene will be running Wednesday or not. Probably not. Looks like Thursday. So maybe we'll do Indiana Grand on Wednesday.
I love Indiana Grand, so
they usually find nice prices there too.
Yeah,
right?
They do. Yeah, I do really well there usually.
And then we'll do Keeneland on Thursday. So that looks like the roster for this week. Terry and I do full cards, along with our best bets, our long shots. And of course, we get a lot of assistance from the likes of Charles, from the likes of Attila, from Jared. So a lot of folks put their ideas and thoughts in the comment section. We encourage you to do the same because this is a community. And I could tell you there have been some great picks from Charles, some great picks from Jared, some great picks from Jared. So it's been there's a lot of good information that flows through the show. So make sure you tune in on Monday at 11 o'clock. We might have a third person shortly as a host, which will be nice. Probably not this week, but maybe the following week. So there'll be a third person to make sure the show goes, Terry. And hopefully add some humor, add a little bit of a ladies' touch, which would be, I think, would be an excellent and welcome addition to the show. All right, Terry, that's it for today. Any final thoughts before? Oh, I know. One last thing. If you're going to bet today at Terry's favorite track, that is Golden Gate Fields. Please, on horseracingtoday.net and in the description and the YouTube channel, I will put a link to Guaranteed Tip Sheet. Click on that, and then you'll get today's guaranteed tip sheet picks for Golden Gate Fields absolutely free. All right.
Yeah, and a lot of people complain, say, well, they're too short of fields, and how can you do very well? But if you look at what happens in those pick fours, pick fives, some of the trifectas and that, like last week, they pay pretty darn well. There was a pick five paid over $25,000 last week. So,
yeah, I had a race. I was doing some betting last night, sitting around at my desk getting ready for this, and my attention span's too short to be focused on one thing at a time. So I got to watch races and do this and make the charts. But one quick question. I put this out there on my Twitter. I have a Twitter account, so you can follow me now at HRT Rich. Follow the horse racing stuff and do the opposite of what I say in sports betting, and you'll probably make more money than you know what to do with, especially on the opposite of what I say in sports betting. But I had like three photos last night, and I swear to you, I lost every single one of them, Terry.
Yeah.
Why do you lose every single photo?
I don't know. It happens to me all the time. So it just like when there's an inquiry. If there's an inquiry and I've got the horse that the inquiry is based against and it's won, I usually get disqualified. And if it's the other way around where I ran second, they usually just say, "Oh no, we're just going to keep it that way." I think they know how I'm betting, so that's
I think
how
the
they know.
universe is out to get us, unquestionably, Terry. I'm in the universe is out to get us camp.
Yep.
Yes, indeed, for sure. All right, Terry. Any final thoughts before we get up and out of here today?
Yeah, I'm hoping that everybody has a really good weekend. Does really well today. Has a great week next week, and as I always say, you should tell your loved ones, your friends, everybody else how you feel about them, especially if it's positive.
Mhm.
And
Well, maybe if it's negative, they'll straighten out their act. So
could be, but life is so darn short that just I try to tell my kids every day that I love them. So, and my wife, of course.
Great advice. Well, I want to wish everybody all the Christians who celebrate Easter, a happy Easter. And whether you are Christian or not, I think one lesson we can take from that is to do unto others as we want to be done unto ourselves, right? So treat people the way you want to be treated. I think regardless of what you believe or if you don't believe, to treat people the way you want to be treated is probably some of the best advice that was ever given, Terry.
Yeah.
That wraps up our show for today. As always, we hope that your Easter, your picks, everything that you do, Terry, in life, until we meet again on Monday at 12 o'clock Eastern, ends up in our great friend Jay Marco's
winner's circle.
Absolutely. Everybody. Oh, one quick thing, Charles. Is that Philly 5 on Monday or is that on Tuesday? Well, I'm guessing it's on Monday if we want bonus coverage. So yes, Terry and I will throw in a Philly 5, just our picks for the Philly 5 in the bonus coverage. All right, folks. Again, as Terry said, we hope your weekend ends up in the
winner's circle.
Yes, indeed. Have a great weekend, everybody.